It was evening when, high above Delhi, two planes carrying a total of 349 people were heading toward each other. One of the planes was about to land at Delhi airport, while the other had just taken off from Delhi. Both planes' pilots were receiving instructions from the same air traffic controller, and there was a gap of 1,000 feet maintained between their altitudes. But somehow, the planes that were supposed to cross each other with a 1,000-foot gap ended up colliding mid-flight. Where'd the mistake happen and who is responsible? When both pilots were taking instructions from the air traffic controller and there was a proper gap between them, how did they end up colliding in such a vast airspace? This is the painful story of an accident that the world now knows as the worst mid-air collision ever.
Welcome once again to Tail Xylo Videos.
Viewers, did you know that at any given minute, there are always between 15,000 and 25,000 planes in the sky? According to Flight Radar, if we talk about total flights, more than 100,000 flights land around the world every day. So the question arises, if there are so many planes in the sky at all times, why don't they collide with each other? The answer is air traffic controllers and the airways established in the sky. Just like there are highways on the ground, there are also imaginary airways in the sky, and air traffic controllers manage planes on these airways, each of which has its own set of rules. For example, the airway called U-688 connects Europe to Asia. On this airway, flights that are eastbound, that is, those going from Europe to Dubai and then to India and China, are assigned odd-numbered altitudes, 35,000 feet, 37,000 and 39,000 feet. On the same airway, westbound traffic, that is flights heading back to Europe, is assigned even-numbered altitudes, 34,000, 36,000 and 38,000 feet. These altitude instructions are given to the pilot by the air traffic controller, or ATC, present in that region. In this way, thousands of planes use these airways' flight levels at all times, safely crossing each other in the sky with a difference of just 1,000 or 2,000 feet, and this is a completely normal thing. But what happened on the evening of November 12, 1996, over the city of Delhi, India, that caused two passenger planes full of people to collide with each other? One of these planes was a Kazakhstan Airlines Aviation 76, which took off from Shymkent International Airport in Kazakhstan at 3:55 p.m. Indian time. After a 3.5-hour journey, it was supposed to land at Delhi International Airport. This was a chartered flight carrying 27 passengers and 10 crew members. These people were merchants who were traveling to India for trading purposes. On the other hand, a Saudi Airlines Boeing 747 landed at Delhi Airport at exactly the same time. It was scheduled to reload passengers and depart back to Jeddah at 6 p.m. Most of the people boarding it were Indian laborers who worked in that Arab country. There were a total of 312 people on board the Saudi plane, 289 passengers and 23 crew members. If you look at it, these two flights probably never even saw each other. Their origins were different, and so were their destinations. But how could the 349 people on board have known that, in just a few hours, they would meet in this vast airspace in the most terrifying way imaginable? About 2.5 hours later, at exactly 6:23, the Kazakhstan Airlines Flight 1907 had reached the Lumpka waypoint. These waypoints work pretty much like an intersection or a roundabout does on roads. The point where airways coming from different directions cross each other is normally called a waypoint, and it's an imaginary point where airplanes can make a turn. Now, it's really important to understand these two airways here. One international airway comes from Kazakhstan to India, which Flight 1907 traveled on to reach India, and another airway called Gulf 452, in radio language that's Gulf 452. This airway connects India and China to the Gulf countries, and the Saudi airline had to travel from Delhi to Jeddah on it. These two airways intersect each other over Haryana, and this point is called the Lumpka waypoint. This point is 328 kilometers west of Delhi Airport. Any aircraft traveling on these two airways that needs to land in Delhi will switch from the Lumpka waypoint to another smaller airway called the Delhi Star. At 6:23, when Kazakhstan Airlines Flight 1907 reached the Lumpka waypoint, its crew contacted Delhi ATC and requested permission to enter the Delhi Star route. At that time, their altitude was 25,000 feet, and Delhi ATC gave them permission for flight level 200 or 20,000 feet. Now, Flight 1907 descended from the International Airway and entered the Delhi Star, adjusting its altitude to 20,000 feet. At exactly the same time, at 6:32, Saudi Airlines Boeing 747 Flight SV-763, after receiving permission from the Delhi Air Traffic Controller, it took off. Its captain was 44-year-old Khalid Al-Shubaili, the first officer was 39-year-old Nazir Khan, and the 36-year-old flight engineer was Ahmed Idris. This Saudi Airlines crew was completely fresh and was flying their first flight after a 70-hour rest. After takeoff, ATC gave the Saudi plane permission to climb to 10,000 feet. At that time, Kazakhstan Airlines Flight 1907 was 137 kilometers away from the airport. Here's something important to understand. The Saudi Airlines flight also had to go from the Delhi Star route to the Lanka waypoint, and Kazakhstan Airlines Flight 1907 was also heading toward Delhi International Airport on the same Delhi Star route. The crews of both flights were communicating with the same controller at Delhi ATC, whose name was V. Okay, Dutta, as reported, to make sure the two planes didn't collide, VK Dutta's job was to keep them at different altitudes on the Delhi Star flight path. At 6:34, Dutta gave the Kazakh plane permission to descend to 15,000 feet when it was 100 kilometers from Delhi. 2 minutes later, at 6:36, Dutta gave the Saudi plane, which was previously at 10,000 feet, permission to climb to 14,000 feet. Both planes were on the same Delhi Star flight path, heading toward each other, but with a gap of 1,000 feet between them. At 6:38 p.m., the Saudi crew reported to Dutta that they had reached 14,000 feet and requested permission to climb higher. But since the Kazakh plane would cross above them with only a 1,000-foot gap, VK Dutta told the Saudi plane to maintain their current altitude of 14,000 feet for now. To this, the Saudi plane's first officer replied, "Saudi SV-763 will maintain 140. 140 means 14,000 feet. Here, it's very important for you to know something about the Kazakhstan Airlines flight crew. This included a 44-year-old captain, a 36-year-old first officer, a 50-year-old flight engineer, a 51-year-old navigator, and finally, most importantly, a 41-year-old radio operator. The reason there was a radio operator on this flight was because the entire crew only spoke Russian, while internationally, ATC instructions are given in English. The radio operator's job was to translate the ATC's English instructions into Russian for the crew. At 6:39 p.m., the Kazakh plane reported that they had descended to 15,000 feet. At that time, Dutta said these words to them: "Identified traffic, 12 o'clock, reciprocal, Saudi Boeing 747 at 10 miles, likely to cross in another 5 miles. Report if in sight." This simply meant that at your 12 o'clock position, that is directly in front of you, a Saudi Airlines Boeing 747 is coming from the opposite direction. It is about 10 nautical miles, or roughly 18.5 kilometers away from you, and it's estimated that it will cross your path in the next 5 nautical miles. If you spot this plane with your own eyes, let us know. But the Kazakh Airlines radio operator didn't fully understand this message, so he asked for clarification, to which Dutta replied, "Traffic is at 8 miles, level 140, meaning the plane is 8 nautical miles away at an altitude of 14,000 feet. To this, the Kazakh plane's radio operator said, "Acknowledge the update, now looking 1907, meaning he had noted the information. Not even half a minute had passed since this message came in when another message was received by ATC. A US Air Force cargo flight was also nearby, and they informed Delhi ATC that they had just witnessed a huge explosion right in front of them. Dutta immediately tried to contact the Saudi and Kazakh flights, but there was no response from either side. Tragically, both planes had already collided. The The Kazakh flight's left wing struck the Saudi flight's left wing, and both wings were severed in the middle. The Boeing 747 started spiraling downward, flames shooting out from its severed wing, and while still in the air, the plane broke into two pieces and crashed at supersonic speed into the village of Dani in Haryana. The Kazakhstan Airlines Ilyushin, with only half a wing and half a vertical stabilizer, went into a flat spin and crashed in the village of Burohar in Haryana. In this horrifying and heart-wrenching accident, not a single one of the 349 people on board both planes survived. News of this accident plunged the whole world into mourning. Headlines ran across local and international media, and everyone had just one question on their lips. If there was a 1,000-foot gap in altitude between the two planes, how did they end up colliding? The investigation revealed that at 6:39 p.m., when the Kazakh plane reported to Delhi ATC that they had reached 15,000 feet, in reality, they were at 16,348 feet and were continuously descending. The message about being at 15,000 feet was either misunderstood by the radio operator or not properly understood by the captain. So, when they were supposed to hold their altitude at 15,000 feet, the captain actually descended the plane to 14,000 feet, that is, to the same level as the Saudi plane. Now, it's also possible that the Kazakh plane's pilot heard the instruction about 15,000 feet, but maybe he didn't understand that he was supposed to hold at that altitude. Also, the radio operator was taking some time to translate the English messages into Russian. When Data clearly told them that there was a Saudi airline plane in front of them, the radio operator didn't understand this message the first time. The second time, he did understand, but by the time the message was conveyed to the pilot and they made the necessary adjustments, it was already too late. The investigation also revealed some mistakes on the part of ATC, because when two planes are on the same flight path but heading in different directions, there should be a gap of at least 2,000 feet between them. However, Data had officially kept only a 1,000 feet gap between them. And at the time this accident happened, the Delhi ATC radar could show the distance between planes, but there was no system installed to determine their altitude. This accident led to the creation of several new rules in the aviation industry, one of which is the mandatory use of TCAS. TCS, or Traffic Collision Avoidance System, is a system that automatically protects aircraft from collisions. After this accident, it was made mandatory for all major commercial aircraft to have TCAS installed. In addition, after this accident, the International Civil Aviation Organization made it mandatory for all pilots to be proficient in speaking and understanding English. And new radar systems were required at all international airports, including those in India. These systems not only indicate the distance of air traffic, but also calculate their altitude.
I hope you enjoyed Tell Xylo videos and support them wholeheartedly by liking and sharing. Thank you so much for your love and wonderful comments. See you in the next amazing video.